All right, for this section, we're going to work on temperature conversions. For this next few problems, we're going to be converting Celsius into Fahrenheit. So I've written the equation next to each problem. Degrees in Fahrenheit equals Celsius times 1.8 plus 32. So now all I'm going to do is plug my number into that equation. So for this one, I'm doing 28 degrees Celsius. So first I need to figure out what 28 times 1.8. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 2 is 16. Plus 6 is going to be 22. Remember to add your 0. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. Now I'm just going to add my columns. Make sure you carry over any remainders. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Now, since I have one decimal place in my problem, I'm going to have one decimal place in my answer. So I have 50.4. Now I need to add 32 to that to get my degrees in Fahrenheit. Make sure when you're adding this 32 to your answer that you're not moving it all the way over here, because your decimals will need to line up. So I always put a 0.0 just so I don't get my rows confused. 4 plus 0 is 4. 0 plus 2 is 2. 5 plus 3 is 8. So for this first problem, 28 degrees Celsius is equal to 82.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we have 64 degrees Celsius. I'm going to plug it into the equation. 64 times 1.8 plus 32. So first, let's do 64 times 1.8. Eight times 4 is 32. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 3 is 51. Make sure when you do your second row, you add your 0 to start off. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 6 is 6. All right, you need to make sure, since you have one decimal place in your problem, you're going to have one decimal place in your answer. So now I just need to add 32 to 115.2. That decimal is just going to drop straight down. And my answer is 147.2. So 64 degrees Celsius is equal to 147.2 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, for this next one, I'm going to be doing 12 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to plug that into my equation. Times 2 is 16, carry over the 1. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Make sure you put your 0 in your second column there. 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 1 is 1. Carry over. And since I have one decimal place here, I'm going to have one decimal place in my answer. So I have for my answer 12 degrees Celsius is equal to 53.6 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, this one I have 48 degrees Celsius that I'm changing to Fahrenheit, so I'm just going to plug that number in my equation. Eight times 8 is 64. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 6 is 38. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. Carry over my 1 here. Now, since I have 1 decimal place in my problem, 1 decimal place in my answer, so for 48 degrees Celsius, I have it equal to 118.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Last two. I have 108 degrees Celsius equals how many Fahrenheit? So I'm going to plug that into my equation. All right, 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 0 is 0 plus 6. 8 times 1 is 8. Make sure you're putting your 0 in your second column there. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. Alright, make sure you add that decimal there because you had 1 decimal in your problem. Now we're just going to add that to 32. Alright, so for my answer, I have 226.4 degrees. So I have 108 degrees Celsius is equal to 226.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Last one, I have 74 degrees Celsius equals how many Fahrenheit? So I'm just going to plug that into my equation. Eight times 4 is 32. 8 times 7 is 56 plus 3. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 7 is 7. So for my answer, I have 165.2. So 74 degrees Celsius is equal to 165.2 degrees Fahrenheit. You can practice these on your own by making up your own degrees in Celsius and then checking them with an online conversion calculator.